welcome into Cross My Heart Ministry. I'm your host, Laura McFarland. If you're not familiar with Cross My Heart Ministry and specifically our YouTube channel, every month we bring to you 2 free downloads. They're absolutely free, and they've kind of been birthed from all my years of raising a family and trying to figure out how to be that Mary sitting at the feet of Jesus, and also Martha trying to spin all those plates and keep the home neat, tidy, clean, organized, and all that. And just about the time I figured it out a little bit, my kids were grown and out the door. So both of these resources are intended to help you get up the learning curve a little bit and maybe be two tools that will help you figure out early or help you in ways that I had to sort of figure out on my own. I'm hoping that you can tweak these or adapt them, and you can skip a little bit up that learning curve thanks to my past experiences and what I did right and what I did wrong. So the first download is the Write the Word bookmark. I'm going to be back with the video on Friday introducing the new bookmark for the month of May, but the word is going to be hold. Hold on, hold fast. And I love these verses. I've just finished writing the word and going through all of these, and some great truth here that I just know will bless and encourage your heart if you commit to choosing to incorporate this into your quiet time during the month of May. Now, as is always the case, and as you will notice, our graphics on the Write the Word bookmark also are consistently used on our do it list. And so this is for the Marys among us that want to sit at the feet of Jesus, and this is to help you be that Martha, getting all those chores done, spinning all those plates, keeping the house neat and tidy and clean and all that. As you've heard me say often, this is not an end in itself. And so when I introduce the do it list each month, I like to quickly review it, but also unpack one of the items on the list. The do it list is intended to be a 1-page resource for you. Again, absolutely free. You can find the link in the show notes below to download your own copy. But basically, in a nutshell, it includes daily tasks, weekly tasks, and monthly tasks. This is not legalistic. It's not intended to be a club to beat you over the head with. It's certainly not to bring on shame and guilt. It's to be just a resource to help you remove the thinking about what do I need to do first, and just give you a list to jump in and do it. And if there are some of these that you just don't feel like apply to you, line through those. We add blank lines if you want to add things to adapt to your life and your lifestyle and your home. Just make it work. Think of it as a tool and a resource to help you, not an end in itself. Each month when we introduce the new do it list, I like to pick one item on the list and maybe flesh it out a little bit, give you some ideas. And so, because during the month of May, we have on our item, clean out the garage, I decided to expand on that idea a little and share with you some ideas for how you can organize and hold a garage sale. Now, some of you may be garage sellers already, but I'm guessing that there are some of you who may have never had a garage sale. Maybe you find it a little intimidating, or maybe you always have one, and some of my ideas would help you get started a little bit. This kind of also goes along with each week during the year, we have an item on here that says organize a drawer or closet. And so if you are routinely doing that, you may be preparing for the garage sale already as you tackle one drawer or one closet each week, as you purge that and organize that. Some of those things that you no longer need or want, or your children have outgrown, if you've been setting those things aside during the year, you are already a leg up. You're a jump ahead on preparing for a garage sale. But let me just get right to it with some of my ideas. First of all, let me just say my brother would always tease me when I would hold my annual garage sale. He would call it a cash for trash sale. Oh, you're having your cash for trash sale. And of course, I would always come right back and say, well, brother, one woman's trash is another woman's treasure. And that is certainly true in my life, because during the years of raising children and living on one income, I was not too proud to supplement our family's clothing stock with items that I purchased at garage sales or secondhand stores. And so I love a good garage sale. I used to love when I would go back to Cincinnati and visit my sister. She would scope out all the nice neighborhoods that maybe would be having their annual neighborhood garage sale, And we just had the best time visiting all those. I could find like new toys or games for the kids, pick up some clothing, some household items. And I still have a hard time not turning in when I see a sign for a garage sale. So the thing about having one is I love to shop garage sales, but the thing about hosting a garage sale is it's kind of a double blessing, two blessings in one. First of all, getting ready for it prompts you to clean out and purge and get organized. You've got to find the things, find the inventory for your garage sale. And so that's the blessing of pulling out, decluttering, getting rid of some of the things that you no longer need, that the kids have outgrown, and so your house inside gets organized. But then you also have this added bonus of getting some extra cash, some extra resources, and you can maybe have a goal that you're working towards. If you're planning a family vacation, maybe that's a way to sort of make sure you've got some extra to do some of those extra things on your trip. Or maybe you want to give the proceeds to a missions project, or maybe your family is saving for a new big screen TV, or you just want to help buy something special for your family, whatever. You're going to buy new patio furniture, you're going to replace something, whatever. But sometimes it's motivating to have a goal that you're saving for, and that will sort of be your reward for all of your labor. So over all the years, and when my kids were young, I had an annual garage sale. And so over the years, I've learned a few things, adapted some things, come up with some ideas, and I hope my 13 ideas of all these 13 things I plan to share with you today, I hope at least one or two might spur you on or give you an idea, even if you have hosted garage sales of your own all these years. So I'm going to share a few tips for you for hosting your own garage sale, or maybe you would prefer to call it a cash for trash sale, or maybe a treasure sale, because like I say, what one woman just might choose to be trash that she's going to give away, that could be a treasure to another woman. So here we go. Number one, if you're planning a garage sale, you want to get out your planner and choose a date. You need to choose a date, and you need to get it on the calendar and commit to it and circle it. And if you are wanting to get money for your garage, for your vacation in August, then you might want to be sure you have that garage sale in June, so that you know how much money you have to work with as you make final plans for your vacation. Once you choose that date, you're going to want to back up and start your prep a good solid month ahead of time. There are other things in your life. You can't just drop everything else off your schedule to prepare for the garage sale. So give yourself 4 to even 6 weeks to be sure that you're getting ready. And so that date also gives you enough time to get the word out, to let your friends know, and to make sure that you're prepared. So number one, choose a date. Number two is to keep it legal. Keep it legal. And by that, I mean check with the rules and requirements in your local area. Your city or your community may have rules. If you're in a subdivision, there might be an HOA that says you can only have a garage sale certain times of the year. In our city here in Siloam, we have to buy a garage sale permit. It's not expensive. I think it's $5. But I think that just sort of helps ensure that people aren't having perpetual garage sales every single week. And we have to print a little permit and post that on the day of the sale. So keep it legal, find out what the requirements are in your town. Number three is to advertise. Now, there's no point having a sale if no one knows you're having it. So there are lots of ways that we can do that thanks to social media. You might want to make a post on Facebook, or put it on Facebook Marketplace, or put an invite out there on Facebook. You might want to text several friends that you know have children a little bit younger than yours even, that know if you're going to have a lot of games and toys or clothing your children have outgrown. There are some young moms out there that might just love to come to your garage sale, but let your friends know, invite them to spread the word. I also like to have some signs that I just put up on that day, and I'll get to my signs a little bit later. If you do print publications, if you have a local community newspaper, be sure and check in with them very early, because sometimes, because things have to go to print, they have much earlier deadlines. Back in the olden days, I used to always pay for an ad in our local paper, but as time has gone on, Facebook just seems to be the way to go, and it's also free. Number four, as you start to prepare for your garage sale, set up a holding area. And so by that, I mean a place to accumulate all the items that you're purging. As you start to go through your home methodically, drawer by drawer, closet by closet, room by room, you're going to find these things that are going to be put in your garage sale. You're going to find these things that are going to be put in the garage sale, but they need to be in a holding area until you're ready to start labeling. And so whether that's going to be a box in your attic, maybe as you go room by room, you're going to have a big laundry basket that you're going to put it in, but then you're going to have to find a place to dump all that and to hold on to it until about a week before when you start doing the labeling. That may be a utility room, it may be a big cardboard box, it may be a corner of your master bedroom. And if so, you may just want to put down a sheet and dump it all there, and even consider covering it with a sheet just to keep the kids from seeing, oh, you're putting that toy there, and sort of having things leave the garage sale accumulation area and make their way back. So set up a holding area, decide where you're going to corral everything in place so that you've got it all where it needs to be when you're ready to label. Now, once you start into that purging, this is where you're going to simultaneously declutter your home, but also prepare for the garage sale. I like to use what I call the spam it method, which is sort, purge, arrange, maintain. So anytime I tackle a drawer, I say that to myself, we're gonna spam it. You've probably heard me use that little phrase I've coined before. So if I'm gonna clean out a bedroom drawer, I'll take all the clothing out and I'll quickly sort it. If it's stained, if it just looks worn out, if it's faded, if I don't like it anymore, if it no longer feels like it fits properly, especially for the children if they've outgrown things. So you're going to sort that out into what you're going to keep and what's going to go away. And so that's the purge pile. You sort, and maybe you look and see, I've got 10 white shirts here. Do I need 10 white shirts? So you sort it out, sorting out what you're just going to discard, but it's going to be purged one way or the other. You're either going to sell it, get rid of it, or give it away, or what have you. So you sort, purge, and then you arrange it. If you're putting clothing back in a drawer, you may decide to roll it so that you can see what you have. You may decide to fold it neatly. Some of it you may decide to hang it up, but you arrange it with a system, whether that's a drawer or a closet. And then M is maintain. So that's part of that, deciding how I'm going to put it back, how I'm going to be sure that I put it back in such a way that I can maintain that drawer for future. So then you've got the pile of the stuff that you decided to purge. And then those items, I sort of sort those out using a method I learned from Emily Barnes way back in the 80s in one of her books. And that is put away, throw away, or give away. So if I put it away, that might mean I found something in a drawer that goes someplace else. It made its way there, but it doesn't live there. Maybe it's a game piece for a game that needs to go to the family room. Maybe it's a little screwdriver or a tool that needs to go to the laundry room or the garage. Whatever it is, if it's a sock that's in my closet that needs to go to one of the kids' closets. So if it's put away, it needs to go someplace else in your house. If it's something that's ripped or torn or broken, that's just trash. That's just a throwaway, and that goes into a trash can. And then there's the pile that is the giveaway, or in our case, the garage sale pile. So we're going to accumulate that into our basket and get it to our holding area. And so each closet you tackle, each drawer you tackle, you're going to put away the things you're keeping, and they're going to have this pile of things that are either going to be put somewhere else in your home, or they're going to be trashed, or you've got your garage sale finds. And so you're going to purge all these items and sort them into those categories. So you need to leave enough time. The more purging you do, the more closets you tackle, the more drawers you tackle, the greater the supply of inventory you'll have for garage sale, and the more pleased and blessed you will be by having a home on the inside that's tidy. If you follow our do it list week by week and you're already tackling a drawer or closet, you may have a lot of your purging done. Or you may decide that's a motivation to start using the do it list during the whole year next year, and when it comes time to get ready for the garage sale, you get to pretty much bypass the purging stage and just pull those boxes down out of the attic or wherever you are is your holding area, and you could jump right into all your labeling. And so let's do that now. Let's go to number 6, which is label everything. You're going to need to probably complete your purging about a week ahead of time to be sure that you have enough time to do all the labeling. Now, I don't like to go to a garage sale where everything is not clearly marked. I think it's frustrating, and so I don't want to frustrate my potential buyers. Some people will just put a sign on a table that says everything on this table 50 cents or everything on this table $1. And let's just assume the best. Let's assume that someone didn't deliberately move it to the dollar table, but someone was carrying something around, they changed their mind, they set it down there. And then up comes this person to buy this nice lamp, and you you intended for it to be on the $10 table, and she says, well, I found it on the dollar table. It just creates an awkward situation. So I like to label everything because I like to have things labeled as a buyer, and I think it creates eliminates a lot of confusion if it's already labeled as well when I am hosting my garage sale. So what I like to do is either buy those pre-printed little stickers at the Dollar Tree or wherever, hardware store, Walmart, what have you. You can buy the pre-done labels, but I really don't like to invest a lot when I'm trying to sell things. I don't want to buy a lot of resources. So I sort of developed these little labels in my computer, and I'll include a link below where you can print your own copy of these, but this is what they look like. And these just use an Avery label 5160 or a knockoff that uses that same number. And so this is a label that is an address label. So it's kind of this big, but I set it up so that I can get sort of 3 stickers off of one label. So what I do is after I print these off, and I do mine 50 cents, $1, $2, and I do a whole page of labels with those 3 denominations. And then I do a second page with $3, $4, and $5. Now, I've had friends that will label things for 10 cents and 25 cents. I just don't want to mess with it. If it's only worth 10 cents, I'll just put it in the pile to give away and haul it off. So everything in my garage sale is going to be a minimum of 50 cents if I'm going to mess with it. And so after I print these labels, then I just take my scissors, and the label is this big, but I just cut these right straight up, and then I've got a whole string of 50-cent labels. And then I cut the next one, and I've got a whole strip of dollar labels, and then $2 labels. And as I cut all these up, I have these, and it just goes so fast just to pull off the labels and stick those on the items for sale. You can binge watch your favorite show on Amazon Prime or on Netflix, and you can just get that labeling done very quickly. I usually haul it all in, and I listen to a podcast or a sermon or watch something on television and just get my labeling done very, very quickly. If you sort it all, I've never tried this, but if you've got items and you just sort them into 50-cent, $1, $2, what have you, you could even just do the sorting and then have your children attach all the labels, and that also would be an easy thing to do. You can, like I said, you can buy those labels pre-printed, but I just sort of like to make my own. And then if there are items that are bigger, I'll just use a Sharpie and create an individual label if it's something that's really big, a $25 or $20 item or something like that. Now, number 7 is to display your wares. And so no one wants to come into a garage sale. I've gone in and just saw a big mess, or people have things sitting on the ground in boxes, and it sort of puts me off. I just don't want to deal with it. But if you go in and things are organized, I really kind of like that. So you're going to want to borrow as many folding tables as you can. I have several folding tables that I've accumulated through the years. I've got a couple of old beat up card tables. I've got a couple of good card tables, but I take everything out there. My husband has a couple of sawhorses, and we have actually put that out with an old door or an old piece of plywood. If the wood is rough, you can cover it with an old sheet, and that protects the items on top. But usually you may have a friend that you can borrow some of those from, but the more items that you have up off the ground and displayed, the better off it's going to be. Clothing also sells a lot better if it's hanging. I have a friend with a couple of nice round clothing racks that I borrow from her when I host a garage sale. But also a few years ago in our old house, when I used to have a garage sale every single year, my husband rigged up something for me that I thought was so clever. And when you're married to a mechanical engineer, these are the things you come up with. But he mounted all the way up in the ceiling 3 different hooks that just stayed in the ceiling. He put them into a piece of wood up there. He made sure that he hit a beam where that would screw in there and be good and solid. And then we bought some long pieces of chain. Chain is really not that expensive at the hardware store, so you can measure and see how much of a length of it you need. But we measured how far down from the ceiling I needed to have a pole hang to create sort of a hanging rod for my customers to look at all of my clothing on hangers. And so we bought enough chain to go from the ceiling and to loop back up to that hook. So I created a big loop out of chain. And then we bought just a metal rod at Lowe's, and we sort of threaded that rod through these 3 loops of chain. And so just had that rod hanging up. Then I just used my plastic hangers and put them out there, and so all my clothing was on hangers hanging up in the garage. It was a great system, and it worked out well, and that rod could just stay in the corner of the garage, tucked out of the way all year. I stuck the chain in some sort of a box, and we just pulled the chain, looped it up, stuck the rod through each year during my garage sale. So that was just fabulous. An easy fix to create hanging space, because people really will look at things much more likely to look at items if they're hanging than even if they're folded neatly, or certainly if they just get all messed up. And even if you fold them neatly, they're probably not going to stay that way once you've had 2 or 3 customers come through. Number 8, consider adding a ministry table. Now this might be kind of unusual, but you could put some Christian books there that are free. If you've got some Bibles that you can give away, you can put those there. It seems like we just accumulate some small little pocket-sized Gideon New Testaments, and that's a great place to put some of those. I also would usually put out an invitation to the Bible study I'm teaching for fall. So that's what these look like. We always create these, and our ladies take them at the end of the year to invite women over this summer to come to Bible study. I've shared these at my garage sale and invited a couple of women to come, and that's kind of been a fun thing. And I've actually just made some great connections when I've had garage sales and got to talk with women, and occasionally just get to know a woman and even pray with her at my garage sale. Now, number 8 is signage. And so in addition to putting up signs to in addition to advertising through social media or on Facebook or whatever, on the day of your garage sale, or maybe even the night before, after it starts to get dark, you can go out early that morning and put up some signs. And so I have created a few garage sale signs like this with arrows. And these are just easy to do in Word or whatever package you have on your computer. So I do them with the arrows going in different directions. And so at the entrance to our street or at a major intersection nearby, I'll put these at the arrow going this way on one side and the arrow going in the same direction on the other side. And these work out really well. I've got a sort of real simple metal sign that you push into the ground. It's just a piece of metal that is sort of U-shaped. And so I keep that in my garage. I think one of them even was an old campaign election sign, and so nothing like recycling, right? And so those just stay in the garage, and I'll pull those out. I'll get a big piece of poster board and sort of loop that over those, and then these can be taped to the top of the poster board, and the bright color is just eye-catching, and it just looks more professional, I think, than taking a big magic marker and writing it on the sign. So I'll put these out at the entrance to the street, at a couple of other intersections, and I've just saved these on my computer, so I just have a garage sale folder on my computer, and I don't have to recreate them every year. Just use a great big old font and add an arrow, and voila, you are in business, and you can advertise your garage sale and get your customers to come as well. Now, in addition to the signs to advertise to get them there, you can take it a step up, and I've done this a few times, and you can create some signs to sort of have hanging on the edge of your table. So as even people come up and walk up your driveway, they see girls or boys or ladies or men's or housewares, and you just look like you are an over-the-top garage sale person. They just think, wow, this lady is really organized. And I just feel like that creates some positive goodwill even as they're coming up. And it also helps me figure out where to put things as the kids would help me carry out. They knew where to put them as well. So those are little over the top things to make your garage sale stay tidy or neat, or to be able to have things organized. Now, number 10, I just want to talk for a moment about security. Even though you may feel like you live in a safe place and you're not fearful of people or anything like that. And if you're an extrovert like me, you love garage sale day. I love interacting with the people and talking to the people that come. And like I said, I've been blessed to meet some sweet people, to even pray with some women at my garage sales. I actually love hosting the garage sale. It's a lot of work to get ready, but it's just a lot, but it's really fun on garage sale day. Even though it's hard to get ready, I really do look forward to the day of having people come by. But in today's world, you do need to be wise, and you need to be cautious, and you need to protect your home and your resources and your children. So a few ideas in the area of security. Number one, if you have young children at home, you might consider getting a babysitter for the babies or toddlers, or even trading with another mom. If she needs a day off to go shopping or go to the dentist or do some errands, you can keep her little ones for her to have a full day off, and she can keep yours on your garage sale day. Number two is don't do the garage sale alone. Arrange to have a friend or a family member with you the entire day. Even if someone comes for the morning and another friend comes for the afternoon, or maybe you have a friend that would like to add some of her things to the sale, even though she doesn't feel like she has enough to hold her own garage sale. Maybe she would come and bring a few of her things and set up her own table, and that would give you a chance to visit during the day in between customers, but also ensure that you're not there alone. The next thing is to keep the door to your home locked. You don't want to get distracted talking to one customer and have someone maybe slip into your home. So always lock the door going into the house. Next is, I have a fanny pack that I have had for years, and this thing the zippers still work, and I wear my cash. So that's my suggestion, wear your cash. I know that I've gone to garage sales where people have a cash box, but if you walk away from that cash box and you get distracted, that cash box could walk away, or it could easily be scooped into. So I never use a cash box. I always wear my cash. And I always make sure that I have plenty of ones and quarters. I'll usually go and get a whole roll of quarters for garage sale day. So if someone gives me $1, they're buying a 50-cent item. You get the idea. Have lots of ones on hand and a few 5s and 10s. So wear the cash. Don't accept personal checks. Just unless it's someone you know personally, I just would not do it. You could end up losing. Not only do you not get paid for your item, but if that check bounces, then you're even paying for that overdraft charge. So I just avoid an unpleasant situation and just ask people to bring cash. Even if it's someone you kind of know, just say, oh, we just made a policy not to take checks, and just leave it at that. There are ATMs always accessible, and I think most people know that it's sort of garage sale etiquette that you're only going to accept cash. The next thing is to anticipate the question that's probably going to come up on garage sale day, and that is, may I use your restroom? And I think what you just need to do is have your answer ready and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I promised my husband that I would not allow strangers into our home on garage sale day. And then ask your husband to make that request of you and say that to him so that you are absolutely being truthful. It's just hard and awkward to do that. So just make that your policy and be done with that. The next thing is, since you're probably going to be having your garage sale in your garage, and there are other things that live in your garage, bicycles, lawnmowers, tools, get some rope or twine and sort of tie those areas off, and maybe put up a sign that says not for sale. That will just avoid all those questions from those men that tag along with their wives and say, who always are going to ask you, is your weed eater for sale? Is your toolbox for sale? No, it is not. And if it's behind the lines, then you don't even need to answer that question. Okay, so I think that's all my security suggestions. Number 11, young entrepreneurs. If you have children or grandchildren, your garage sale can be a great way to get them involved in having their own little business and their little piece of the sale. I would not mess with lemonade because I don't want to have the lemonade sticky mess when it gets spilled, or the little insects that it attracts. I think water bottles are the best thing to have kids sell at a garage sale. It keeps people hydrated, you don't have the mess or the cleanup, and it's super duper easy. So if you buy a case of water for say $3.99 and you get 24 water bottles, that's probably 15 or 20 cents each. If you do the math, have the kids do the math. But what you can do is put that in the fridge the night before, it gets nice and cold, get a cooler, dump some ice from your fridge in there, and let the kids make their own little sign that says water bottles for sale, 50 cents or $1, and let them get really excited figuring out how much they paid for the water and then how much they'll make. If they sell 24 water bottles for 50 cents each, they've made $12. If they sell them for $1 each, they've made $24, and for something they've only paid maybe $4 for. So they can get real excited about that, and then you can train them to calculate their profits and encourage them to tithe on that. It's just a great experience, I think, for kids to interact with adults, learn to make change, learn to have that conversation, and how to market their products and make their signs, and then they'll get excited about tallying up what they've made and have their own little first business. Number 12, donate what's left. Do not haul that stuff back in the house. Now, there might be a couple of items that you just think, oh, I think I can sell this on Facebook Marketplace, or it's too expensive to give away. Okay, maybe there'll be a couple of things like that. But please make it your policy. Once it's out of your house, just move it on out. Don't bring it back in. Don't rob yourself of the joy of doing all this decluttering and purging by bringing it all back in. Go ahead and donate it. And so what I recommend you do is make an itemized list of everything you have. And so perhaps you can put it into categories: 12 pairs of men's jeans, 4 girls' dresses, 6 kitchen glasses, whatever. You don't have to list each individual thing, but put it into categories, make your detailed list, use a thrift shop price to analyze how much it's worth, and when you donate all this to Goodwill or the Salvation Army, ask for a receipt, staple your detailed list to it, and then keep that in your income tax file for next year when you do your income taxes. So that's a great way to not only get it out of your house, but also get that welcome income tax deduction when it comes time to prepare your tax return next year. And then finally, number 13, we finally made it to number 13, and that is to tithe your earnings. So perhaps you and your family will decide, have that conversation as a group. If we make $500 at this year's garage sale, let's tithe it. Let's make sure we're going to give $50 of it away to some organization. Maybe you're going to help send a kid to Christian camp. Maybe you're going to support a missionary. Maybe you're going to set it back to buy supplies and do extra shoe boxes for Samaritan's Purse come fall. Whatever, the Crisis Pregnancy Center, there's lots of missionaries that can always use support. There's always extra things like that. You may tithe it to your local church, but for something special like this, it might be a special offering that you'll do for a specific missions group. Maybe there's a kid from your church that's going on a mission trip, a short-term mission trip this summer. But I think it would be a great experience and a great training ground for your children or your grandchildren to talk to them about tithing on this type of earning, and even collaborating and praying about what we might do with the money that we make and how we might tithe on that. Well, I hope you do plan to take the garage sale plunge. I hope that you'll give it a try. If you've never done this before, it can be a lot of fun, a great way to meet people. We're going to host one at our house here in a few weeks, but my daughter is actually doing it. See, she's really motivated to come up with some extra cash. And so I'm kind of accumulating some things that as I go through closets for her to put in the garage sale, but she's going to do all the prep. And then I get to have the fun of helping her host it here at our home, because I love to interact with all the people that come. So it's a great trade-off. She does the work and gets the cash, and I get to talk to lots of people. So if you decide to take the garage sale plunge, leave us a note below and let us know which one of the ideas, of these 13 ideas that I've shared today, which one helps you most. Again, for Cross My Heart Ministry, I'm Laura McFarland. And I want to remind you to follow the link below to download your copy of this month's Do It list for May that's just coming up. Hope you have a blessed week, and if you take the garage sale plunge, I hope you do lots of purging and have the blessing of a less cluttered home, And I hope you make lots of money to have the blessing of resources to bless your family and to bless whatever ministry you decide to bless with your tithe on those earnings. Have a great week. Thanks for stopping by.